back to Emily A to Z. My name is Emily and today is the start of another TBR tackle. And we are starting off with a finish. I have finished At the Bottom of the Garden. It's holding right here in my hand and I can't remember. I have finished At the Bottom of the Garden by Camilla Bruce, and unfortunately I am giving this a 2.5. I feel so much better about giving out 2s. I don't know why, but I had previously convinced myself that a 2 meant I disliked this book. And then I believe it was Gavin from Gavin Reads It All who pointed out that a 2.5 is the middle of a 1 to 5 scale, which means that a 2.5 is just perfectly average. And that, for whatever reason, has shifted my thinking about rating things. So for me now, it's a 5-star is I love it. I'm in love, right? I'm obsessed. I love it. Kicking my feet. I'm super happy or emotionally connected to this book some way. 5 stars, right? And then 4 and 4.5 is I really loved this book. I really enjoyed it. So a 4.5 would be I really, really loved it. I had a great time with it, but maybe there was just a little something missing to bump it up. A 4 is again, really, really liked it, really enjoyed my time with it. I had a good time, just wasn't quite there. A 3.5 is I liked it. I had a good time. I didn't really like it, but I liked it a lot. 3 is we're starting to get into I liked it, but I don't have there's not much more I can say past that. 2.5 is where this falls. A 2.5 is just straight up neutral. We are middle ground. We are middle of the road. I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it. I am ambivalent towards it. It is just middle. 2, we're starting to get into don't really like it. Not a big fan of this kind of thing. A 1.5 is I am actively disliking this book. Maybe there was something that was redeeming. Maybe. And then a 1 star is I hated this book. I never want to see it again. Get it out of my sight. And just, I never rate anything a 0 star. That's not a thing for me. I feel worst comes to worst, I'll attempt to give something a 0.5 star. But I only ever leave something unrated if it is not applicable to me, or a memoir. So I don't rate memoirs. I've already talked about this so many times. I don't feel it's my place to rate someone's story or a part of their life. And I'm not that I read a lot of them, but if I read a picture book or actively read a children's book, I'm probably not going to rate those either because I'm not the target audience, right? I'll count it as I read the book, but I'm not who it's made for. So, things. Now that we've got my new and improved star rating system out of the way, let's talk about At the Bottom of the Garden. At the Bottom of the Garden by Camilla Bruce. This just, it had so much potential. We are following a pair of orphans and their aunt. Their parents, Lily and Violet, are 2 young girls whose parents have just perished in an unfortunate accident, and in their will it states that they need to go to the next closest family relative. The only one that is left is their Aunt Clara, who was their dad's half-sister. Clara is a bitch. She is a narcissist. She is a murderess. This is not a spoiler. It says so right here. She has murdered people before to get what she wants. She perceives that if she wants it, she deserves it. So she is determined to get it any way means necessary. Claire views these girls as money making. They have an inheritance that will come to them when they turn 18. This is very reminiscent of certain parts to a series of unfortunate events where we even have an orphan named Violet, right? But we have these 2 girls and she gets a monthly stipend, right? Blah, blah. She's basically using them to try and get their money because she wants to create a line of diamonds as that will be her legacy. And things just kind of go downhill from there. One of the girls can see ghosts and she can see all of Clara's ghosts and call them back into existence. So one of the dirt girls sees the ghost, can like help them kind of like manifest in a way. She can't bring them back to life, but like helps them manifest. And so then the ghosts of these people that she's killed start haunting her. This premise sounds wonderful. Like all of that is basically on the back of the book. However, it falls flat from there. They all feel very stagnant and stuck in their character arcs. We've got the 9-year-old who is just, you know, she's spunky and what's the word I'm looking for? Not impertinent, whatever, but like stereotypical 9-year-old. And then we've got the older sister who is studious and intelligent and, you know, she wants to do what's right. And then we've got the narcissistic aunt, but they all are just flat. They're not dynamic. They don't change. There's not a lot of growth, positive or negative, that happens in these pages. And it just kind of feels stagnant. And it took me way longer to read this book than it should have. It took me 6 days to read like a 350-page book. I've been averaging about 3 days with my books. And I didn't want to DNF it, but I just didn't really care by the end of it. And then when the ending does come, it was like, yeah, okay. There's some magic interweaved in here and some ghostly elements to this light horror, gothic horror. I wouldn't recommend it just because I found it boring, but maybe someone else will like it. So there's that. I don't have Song of Achilles down here, but I am now about 40% of the way through. I'm still really loving it. It just makes me happy. I love the narrator. No thoughts there. And I am about 30% of the way into the Book of Everlasting Things. This is a chonker. This is also going to take me quite a while, and that is not ideal, to be honest. Some of the family has already finished it, and then there's a couple other of us that are struggling. I know my mother-in-law, it's taken her a couple weeks just to get like halfway through the book, and she thinks it's going to take her another couple more weeks to get all the way through. I'm not sure how far Rachel is in it, but I know for me, I've gotten 30%, which is about 140 pages in like 2 days of reading, but that is only, and I mean this, only, like capital letters, only because I am immersive reading this book. I have the audiobook at like 2.5 speed, and I listen to it with the book open like this, and I am following along with my eyes. We are in like Pakistan before it was officially Pakistan, in the late 1930s, early 1940s, following basically two families that are going to end up on opposite sides of a divide that's going to happen. And they're of different religions, so that's going to cause stuff there. And so far, I have no complaints. I don't have any like issues with it. It's a lot of really literary language. It's very beautifully written. There are lots of descriptions of smells because we are following a perfume apprentice, and then also descriptions of paper and ink and writing because we're also following a calligraphy like apprentice. And it's just they're very lush descriptions in this book. I'm having a little trouble following along with some of the like historical points, and I don't think that's a fault of the author. I know I'm struggling to follow along with the historical side because I wasn't taught this in school, and there is a large gap in my knowledge of history that is not white people, American centrist, and that's a shame. I am realizing as I've gotten older and I have read historical fiction or I read books from other perspectives in other countries and things like that, that my education in certain historical fields is severely lacking. And it makes me want to do research on my own so that I do understand the context and the characters and the references to their way of living, to the religions of the time, to the landscape, the city structures at the time, They're referencing wars that I know nothing about, and that is a shame, in my opinion. It is shameful that I don't have more knowledge about this. So, I've got like learning I need to do so that I can understand what is happening. I don't think I need to slow the audiobook down or anything like that. Even sped up, it still feels slow, if that makes sense. But yeah, I guess I'm going to end this clip here though, so I can let the dogs in, and I have other things that I need to do. What am I going to do? Since I'm immersive reading this and I'm only listening to the Song of Achilles, I need something else that I can like read. I kind of relegate my books to certain activities or places. So I listen primarily to audiobooks only at work or when I am like outside on a walk. So I can burn through audiobooks really quickly, and I don't want to necessarily do that if I don't have the next audiobook lined up. So like I'm only listening to The Song of Achilles when I'm either at work or in this case when Caden has a certain sports practice and I can walk during his sports practice. I'll do that, put my earbuds in and listen to the book while he's at practice. I did that the other day. It was great. Took some beautiful photos whilst I was out and about listening to The Song of Achilles. This I will listen to if I'm at like a sports practice where I can't get out and walk or I need to like stay close by. If I'm at home and I don't want to be disturbed, right? I'll like put my headphones in and listen to this when I know I'm going to be like stationary for a while. And I like to have a physical book to read while I'm here at the house, like whether I'm home alone or if my husband is like watching TV and I'm not too distracted by it. I like to have something physical to read in the evenings that I can also have like music in. I am kind of weird about that. But I do need to read, next on my TBR tackle, I do need to read book 6 of A Series of Unfortunate Events. This is the ersatz. I don't think I've ever said this word out loud. The ersatz elevator. This is book 6. This is actually May's pick, but I need to read it now and be prepared for May for Magical Stitches. So I need to do that. I need to sit down. I need to read it, start taking notes on it, coming up with like prompts and ideas and stuff. So I'm going to do that. But that's the plan for like today. I'm also not feeling the best. So I'm just kind of trying to take it a little easy today. I do need to do some editing, but I also want to read this. I can read these in like a day, even with me pausing to take notes and stuff. So that's kind of on the agenda. I need a quick palate cleanser after this since this took me so long. So that's where this comes in. Plus it needs to be done. And then I will check in later. I kind of want to take a bath today, but we'll see. Hi, hello. I have to leave in like 5 minutes, so this has to be short and sweet because I still have things I need to do. But I finished the ersatz elevator last night. I read it all yesterday. I can read these in about 2 hours. They're quick, you know, it's a middle grade book. So this one is following the children as well. It's a series where this time they have been sent to live with Jerome and Esme Squalor, and they live in the penthouse of an apartment building that has 71 rooms, right? Esme is the 6th most important financial advisor in the whole city, but they have become their new guardians, and it seems very much as though, I didn't clock it my first time reading this, but now that I'm reading it as an adult, Jerome definitely has ties to the children. He knew their mother at least, and he multiple times makes references to their mother, knowing their mother, that, oh, she was brave. And I remember this one time we did this, but every time he would start to talk about their mother, Esme would jump in and cut him off and be like, we need to talk about something else. And then at the end, she makes a reference that she is doing this because their mother stole something from her. And it's like, wait, what? In this one, we are continuing on with the Quagmire triplets are still missing. The Baudelaires are now trying to solve the mystery of where they are, what happened to them, what Olaf has done with them. and what he's going to do next. We're moving past that kind of humorous, gothic-y children's literature into more now like mystery settings where they've been told about the VFD and now they need to learn what VFD stands for, where the other triplets are, right? Like, it's starting now to become like an adventure mystery novel series. I don't want to spoil it because people are reading it. But yeah, I'm giving this one, I think I gave this a 3. I had originally a long time ago given it a 4, and then with reevaluating how I kind of view things, I'm like, yeah, it's a 3. Like, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good, but I wouldn't say like I really enjoyed this one. It's a solid 3. It is the pick for May in Magical Stitches. So this is what everyone else will be reading come May. Is that all I want to say about it? Probably. Caden's gonna read this next, and we'll have to let him tell us what his thoughts are. I gotta go. I don't know, this is convoluted, but I gotta go. I also need to pick my next physical read. I think it's going to be one of my ebooks because I still have not touched any of my actual Magical Stitches books that I need to read. So that's fun. And yeah, I'm thinking An Age of Winters. That's calling to me. So I guess that's next. Hi, it's Good Friday and I am off work today, which is fantastic news because my husband is also off work today, but our son is at school. So parents have a free day and that's exciting. I do have a book I want to talk about, but first, we're gonna go on a date, but like, I can't go like this. We need to fix that. And now we're dressed. We're just going to Olive Garden because we can. But I just got my little bananas. It's warm enough for shorts. I'll come back and fill you in on books. Well, look who I have. It's so pretty. She's so pretty. She's a pretty girl. You're a good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. She's gonna sit so nice. She's not gonna sit so nice. Oh, okay. Okay, we are back from our date. It was great, just a quick little lunch date while the kiddo is in school. And I said I had updates. Good girl. You can lay down. Yes, you can. You don't have to sit. You can lay down. So here is my update. I have finished The Song of Achilles. Oh. Oh, how do I even talk about this? I'm gonna cry again. I was listening to this last night and working on my puzzle downstairs and had to stop working on my puzzle and just stand and take in and just listen to the ending. Stopped puzzling, just stood there listening, and I just start like sobbing, like it just hits. I'm gonna cry. This is beautiful. God, this is such a beautiful, beautiful book. The exploration of Patroclus and Achilles' bond. It's beautiful and it's pure, and I know the myth and I knew what was coming, and it still just devastated me. But like, if you're familiar with the myth and what happens with Patroclus and Achilles, like, yes, that is sad. That though is not why I sobbed. The ending is just gorgeous and heart like breaking, but it put me back together as well. I cried and had to stop and go to my husband and was like, I just need you to hold me for a moment. And he's like, okay. And so then I'm explaining to him why I was so emotional. And he's like, yeah, like, he's not a reader, but he's like, that is beautiful. I understand. And I just, the rest of the night, I would just like think about it and start to tear up. And I was just like, I can't. And like, please read this. If there is one book that you take away so far from my channel for this month, because I'm also like, wait, I've had like a banger at least each month. Like, Aristotle and Dante discover the secret to the universe. Awesome, beautiful, wonderful. Nothing to see here. Awesome, beautiful, wonderful. The Song of Achilles. Awesome, wonderful, beautiful. Like, read those books. They are going to definitely be in my top of the year so far. These are my... Holy bajoli, this is so good. This is so good. Read this book. Love this book. Join me in my now obsession with this book. And I believe this was her debut. This was Madeline Miller's debut novel. And holy shit, did she hit it out of the park. 5 stars. I'm going to have to get myself a copy of this. I'm going to have to. What's next? Hell if I know. I have no idea what's next. I need a physical read. I have read this. I already talked about it briefly. I have read this. I don't have an audiobook besides like the Book of Everlasting Things, which I do need to also work on. But I need an audiobook that I don't also need the physical book for. And that's where I'm hitting a bit of a wall. Because I'm looking at my shelf and I'm like, there's nothing that I can get my hands on right now. I thought I could get The Inheritance. Turns out I can't. The earliest I could get the audiobook for this would be 18 weeks. That's not going to work. I went ahead and put a hold on it because you never know. But I'm going to have to read this physically. But I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm going to start one of my ebooks next. I'm going to start, I think, An Age of Winters. That is calling to me. I feel like I've already said that in this clip somewhere, in this video somewhere. But before I can do any more reading, I have to go edit. I have to go edit. Because I have a video that's supposed to be up today. So I gotta go do that. Okay, bye. Okay, so in all transparency, it's actually been a couple weeks since I filmed the rest of the clips for this video. I'm so good at this. But I need to quickly wrap this video up before I lose my light and it starts to rain and it's dinner time and all of this stuff. Plus, sorry, my husband has been bribing me with candy and other sweet little treats if I get my editing done. So I really want to finish this up so I can go get a sweet little treat. He's holding hostage a drink for me that I have to finish my whole video before I can have my drink. So here we are. Time to wrap it up. So when I last checked in, I was saying I had to go edit, which I've done. This is my life. And that Age of Winters was calling to me, but I also needed an audiobook. I have taken care of both of those things. Starting with An Age of Winter. Man, quit. She's hiding behind me and she was licking my back. Quit. So here, I'll scooch. I'm just gonna pop it up on screen. I read An Age of Winters by Gemma Liviero in 2 days. In 2 days. I could not put it down when I picked it up. 5 stars. It was a 5-star read. It is set in like 1600s Germany, and we are following I don't remember what our protagonist's name is. As she is navigating, she's a servant in a household for a like preacher. And the old preacher, something happens, he falls ill. So a new younger preacher has to come into town. And she becomes obsessed with him in that she starts like daydreaming about starting a life with him. And if she could convince him to like leave the fold, leave the cloth and like run away with her. It is, and she's young. She's like 19. I didn't like that at first. I was like very suspicious because she's 19 and he's like 30 something years old and she's immediately like obsessed with him. And I was like, ooh, please don't do this. I don't like this. Don't worry. This book took some twists. It ends up being more of a murder mystery set in this historical context because a rash of murders start taking place in this village where they live. And because it's in like the late 1600s, early 1600s, whatever, they are convinced that it has to do with like demonic forces or witchcraft is like because of it. And a stranger has come to town. So of course they're trying to like blame this stranger, but things don't add up and it's all over the place. And as the book started to progress and certain things started to unfold, I was like, I started to get really suspicious towards one of our main characters and was like, oh, this is going to be good if the author does what I think she's going to do. And I don't want to spoil it because I did really enjoy this book and gave it 5 stars. I loved when I do love an unreliable narrator. I'm learning that about myself. And as this story progresses, I will say that our narrator, our main protagonist that we're following, slowly becomes more and more unreliable. And it's, to me, it was really well done, where it was just little things that were kind of off. And at first you're like, okay. And then a little bit later, something else kind of off is said, or she does something. And you start picking up these breadcrumbs, or I was like, did our narrator do something? Did she? It was so good. I loved it. Like I said, 2 days. Ate it up 2 days. It was great. I then followed that up with the audiobook of The Great Zoo of China by Matthew Riley. This, in bare bones, all you need to know is a high action, fast paced Jurassic Park, Jurassic World with dinosaurs set in China. That's it. That's all you need to know. I don't regret it. I think I gave this like 3.5. We are following Dr. CJ, Cassandra something, Dr. CJ, and she's like a herpetologist. She's supposed to be like this badass herpetologist thing. And she gets invited to come to this brand new zoo that China is opening. They want her to come and give like her professional opinion, her professional like viewpoint on it. She has no idea why they want her. And then she gets there and realizes, oh, it's because there's dragons. And then of course, something goes wrong. All hell breaks loose. The dragons start to turn on the people. And it really is like Jurassic Park in China with dragons. It's nonstop action. It is far-fetched. But you know what? I've read so many heavy things recently that I needed a break from that, and having that just like go, 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 go nonstop thrill ride in a book was the best like change of pace, change of genres that I needed in that moment. I can't say I read a lot of like action-y books. I've never read Jurassic Park. I do want to, but it is like the movies. And there was an author interview at the end of the physical novel that he admits openly that he had direct inspiration from Jurassic Park. So it was fine. It was like, if you like that, if you like an action-y book, go for it. It is bloody, it is violent. I wouldn't say gory, but like he does not shy away from the violence and the dismemberment, shall we say, of, you know, that comes with having dragons. And I did get the physical book because I realized that there were like pictures throughout it. He included maps of like the facility. At the beginning of each new section, there was like a mini map of the park or of the zoo. And so that was really helpful, and like spread throughout some of the like chapters were like images that directly referenced what they were talking about. And that was really helpful at times because I couldn't picture what this zoo like looked like or like where they were. So then having the map there was like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, cool. But that's it. That is all I read for this video. More is coming. Dun, 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 dun. I have other things I need to work on now. So, thank you. Let's get back over. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this video. And look at me. It's under an hour. This one's a shorty. I love it. But thank you so much for being here. I will see you all very, very soon. In the meantime, be easy with your hearts.